NCC in the past 12 months in 2680. That's New Hamilton. We have 5 buildings. I try to call the health department and to try to find out who do I call to find out the process of how do we, to find out the progress that they're doing with the water. I can't get no response. I try to call here because this letter, it came from 250 Broadway. Oh, by the way, here's a copy for the chair lady.
Thank you. I'll
That's
take
for the
it.
chair lady. Here's the other copy.
Thank you.
And I would like to know, who do I call to find out when they're gonna test the water in 2430? Because I tried calling somebody here in the board member, and I left message, but nobody is coming back to me anymore. So the thing is, when I called the contact number, which is another good one, they told me they have no information for, your management in New Hamilton. They don't have no information. And I have a door, this is another one. I have a door now, and the second floor that needs to be fixed. I called the contact number. This is all the dates that I have called. Now they told me that your doorknob has been transferred to escalation. Escalation. Those are the supervisors from the board, from the contact center. They're supposed to do the doorknob instead of maintenance in New Hamilton. But my main concern right now is who do I call to find out the progress are they doing for the bacteria. They said it's okay to drink the water, but we can't take a shower. So,
So, sir, if I may, Alex Ferguson, right there, is the Vice President for Operations. And he can give you an update after the meeting,
okay.
okay? And we'll let you know about the testing that's being
What's
conducted.
your name, sir?
Alfred's.
Alpha. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And your name?
Vito Mostichulo.
Oh, okay. So I guess this is what I needed, because I needed the phone number, because I want to know what's going on and all this. Because I mean, when they tell you it's okay to drink the water, but you can't, with bacteria, but you can't take a shower.
That's correct. The Legionella is airborne, right? So you can't contract it by ingesting it, right? But we can give you all the information.
No, we had a
Yeah.
meeting with the
Yeah.
health department.
Yeah.
And they told us it's the paper that does that, put the cold water, then add the hot water. But I wanna, because I know the 29, they tested the building again, 2680. We got 5 buildings. What about the rest of the building? I'm concerned about.
We can fill you in on the whole plan of action for the development.
Chair lady, board member, thank you very much.
Thank you,
You'll have a
sir.
safe and blessed day.
Thank you so much. Nellie McKay? Good morning.
Yes. Good morning. My name is Ellen McKay.
And happy birthday.
First, I'd like to thank God because I made 90 on Saturday. Surprise party when I walked in. One is 6'8" and he was sitting down and he's all out. And I got, oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Hey, I'm here again. Everybody knows me down here.
790.
First, I'd like to thank Kofi. They put it in the new lights in the kitchen. They are gorgeous. See, when you can do good, I'll tell you about it. When you do bad, I still take it. And the shower curtains are very nice. But we still have a problem with the garbage. Mr. Vito, thank you for coming up. And I hope that we get the signs. And we're having a meeting, we had one on Monday about departments. I don't have 3 minutes, so I'm jumping around. About departments that's been there, they have tickets, and then they don't fix up the apartments. I had a man yesterday. But I think we're gonna get that done. And the lady in my building You know, they say housing don't do anything. Why we bother? But I said, give them to me. Some people can't express themselves, and I hope I can, that work needs to be done. The roof, when it rains, you can take a bath on the fourth floor. Now, I've been talking about this for a long time. It's like putting the sole on an old shoe. When you put it on there, you walk on it, come off, and you have to put another one on. And this is what they've been doing for the roof. How did they spend $1.7 million on trying to patch up the roof? Take the roof, take it loose, and put a brand new one there, and then they won't have to spend so much money fixing up the roof. That's all we asked for. And so one day I almost fell because I'm rushing to the incinerator. It only when it's rain, it comes in, and I'm on the fourth floor, so that means it's coming from the roof down to the fourth floor. Please see that the roof get fixed. And the rest of I want to say this for the new chairperson, because we have a lot to talk about. We need to do a lot of work here. And I'm hoping that the people here, the leaders, can get Lincoln Hospital when the new chairperson comes in and have a conference there with the tenants. Because all they have to do is walk across the street and let them know that you are here to help and they're here to help. Let them know the do's and the don'ts, and also put money aside to have workshops like they did when I came in. See, they all of a sudden stopped. They shouldn't have never stopped there. Telling the tenants where to put the garbage, telling them to keep your apartment clean. Hey, you can go 99 cent store in there and spray the hallways. We have to work together. And if we don't, we're going to be running, the rats is coming back. We don't have them at 2645. But I'm talking to the tenants. I don't scream at them, I said, miss, get the incinerator. And if you can't, I can't speak English, I pull the door open. So you don't have to speak English, just pull the door open, put the garbage in. So the tenants began to know me, some of them. But it's a lot of work to be done. And would y'all please work with us? Who is this guy? Bert? It was an article in the paper. He visited 140 apartments already in New York. He's a new coordinator.
I think you're referring to the monitor, Bart Schwartz.
Who?
The federal monitor, Bart Schwartz.
Yeah, this is what, yes.
Yes.
But he didn't come to Patterson. I would like to see the leaders here that the overnight, even the new chairperson, we would like to see them in the Bronx. I can't talk about other projects, but I can only speak where I live. Come and let the tenants see, because these are people from downtown. They meet business, only they see the manor and John. But we're working together. We have a meeting every 2 weeks about these apartments, and now we need to have a meeting about the roof. See, when you have a meeting, we tenants that work for housing need to be involved in these meetings. Would y'all please help us?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
how about the sign? What about the sign?
Working on it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And how's someone carry this cake? That's all it was.
Well, we'll wrap it up for you.
No one's gonna share it with me.
Not right now.
My grandson had some bugs. One the 9 flew away. I don't know how but thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Ms.
Ms.
McKay.
McKay.
Happy birthday.
And Ms. McKay, you share a birthday with Vilma. Vilma's birthday was the same day as yours.
Yes, someone else here had.
Right here,
Vilma.
right here.
Yes. Oh, happy birthday. Well, we had lobster, and we're supposed to have lobster again.
That's what you told me.
Vice Chair, that concludes our public comments portion. We will proceed with the regular calendar. The first order of business is which to adopt the minutes of the regular meeting of Wednesday, June 26, 2019. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. We'll now proceed to the general managers.
Sure, so thank you. I'll make this quick, because I know we have a lot of items on the calendar for today. So I just want to give everyone a quick update from last night's accident. We had a partial crane collapse at Reed's Houses. I mean, I think it's important to note first that there were no injuries at all, either to residents, to workers, or to members of service. And to me, that's first and foremost. Damage to the buildings, minimal. We had 1 or 2 broken windows, and at the roof line of the railing, when the roof was bent, it's minor damage. A few of our residents lost their air conditioning units, the individual window units, and we will look to replace those. But I do want to, there we go. So this is a picture that I took when I first arrived on the scene. Just shows you where the crane, the boom end, right? So that was extended all the way up to about 160, 170 feet. This is a closer view of that. This is a view of this, where the steel came down into the courtyard. That again, because of the ongoing work, this area was cordoned off. So there are additional fences that were installed, sidewalk sheds. But just to show you kind of the impact of the steel and how some of the pieces were embedded in the ground. I think the response to this accident was typical New York fashion. Right? Our first responders, PD and fire, did a phenomenal job when they first arrived at the scene to secure the site. They worked collaboratively with us, with our contractor, with the Department of Buildings, and with the Office of the Inspector General and Department of Investigations. So there is an ongoing investigation into what caused this. But again, I just wanted to just reiterate the fact that there were no injuries. And to me, that was the most important piece of this. It took us a little bit longer than we had expected to get this section of the crane, the boom down. We had hoped to have it removed by 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, but it was around 3 a.m. Until it was safely removed. And this is a picture of, this is Boys and Girls Republic. Right? It's a center across the street from our development. The executive director, David from Union Settlement, was kind enough to allow us to use this as a reception center. The American Red Cross came in, they served pizza and refreshments. We had about 60 or so of our residents who came in for some relief. Most of our residents actually were sitting outside, and they were incredible. I walked the grounds until around 11 o'clock last night, and people are actually thanking us. Right? Thanking us for the response, thanking us for all the effort that was being put into the response to this. And that really kind of made a big difference for me. And talking to the residents at the center, we did have to remove one of our residents. We asked EMS to remove her to the hospital. She was fine, but she required some medical equipment that we were not able to bring into the center. So out of an abundance of caution, we conferred with EMS, and they agreed, and she agreed, that she would be removed to the emergency room, and that they would keep her there until she can reoccupy her apartment. But again, it's not as if there was a medical emergency that required her to be removed. And then, I'm sorry, I think that's the last picture. Yeah. And then obviously the response from the authority, Capitol, right? We're there, stayed till the situation was secured. There were folks in operations. The property manager was on site until well after 11 o'clock at night. Our emergency services department, communications, intergovernmental. It was, again, a textbook response to an unfortunate accident, but again, an accident that fortunately just resulted in minor property damage. But I do want to point out, and Deborah, you might correct me if I'm wrong here, so this job was being done as part of our Sandy recovery efforts. We have performed over 90, close to 95 lifts. Right? We're talking about lifts lifting up bundles of steel and generators. This is the only accident that at least we know of in 95 lifts. And again, I'm not suggesting that one accident is still one too many. And we will find out what the cause was, and we'll make sure that we rectify that going forward. But there's been a tremendous amount of work and effort that's been put into this program, and I think we can't lose sight of that. We have to recognize that. So that's really it. I just wanted to give everyone a quick update. I'm not sure how this was put out in the media. I know there were several train accidents yesterday, two of them not involving NYCHA. So yesterday was not a good day for train accidents. So that really concludes my piece. Catherine, would you like to?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll now proceed with the calendar items 1 through 80. Items 1 and 79 will be presented first.
Good morning. My name is Rasul Azanijad. I'm the Vice President of Healthy Home. Item number 1 is requesting authorization into contract, IDIQ contract agreement with Linear Environmental Corporation for lead abatement services. Commencing on September 1st, 2019, and continuing through August of 2021. This contract, as I said, is IDIQ. The value of contract is about $5 million, and it's city and capital funded. And the services is for lead abatement, as I mentioned, for lead abatement work, which is commencing from our XRF testing initiative. And this is the first contract that NYCHA is having for lead abatement through a vendor. So, and we are working on additional contract. This is the first one. So we're working for additional contract based on ongoing XRF testing. Any questions? Item number 79 is requesting authorization for IDIQ contract for XRF testing, actually. And the contractor is Tetra Tech Incorporated. This contract, as you guys know, we are in the process of initiative of 135,000 units to be tested. And we are, based on the pace that we're going, we need additional contract in order to meet the deadline of the 18 months. So we are putting additional contract and this is one of the contracts. The value of this contract is about $10 million. And again, it's capital and city funded. And I'm requesting authorization to proceed with this. Any question?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Vice President of Finance, Tricia Roberts. I'm here to present item number 2, requesting authorization to award the authority's general liability insurance program policy to 6 separate insurers with 4 separate layers. Those insurers are Lloyd's of London, XL Insurance America, Endurance American Specialty, Lexington Insurance Company through AIG, Liberty Surplus Insurance Corporation through Liberty Mutual, and Westchester Surplus Lines Insurance, a Chubb Limited subsidiary to provide insurance for torts above $5 million for our self-insurance retention program in the amount of $120 million per occurrence and $120 million in the aggregate. And it also includes terrorism coverage commencing on August 1st, 2019 and continuing to July 31st, 2020. This program actually is a savings on a premium cost of $1.2 million. The current premium cost is $4.5. So in this round of working with the insurers, we were able to get a premium cost of $3.3 for the same amount of coverage and actually moving through to cover any catastrophic positions that we end up in. Any questions, concerns? Thank you.
Thanks.
Good morning. Deborah Goddard for the capital votes. I'm going to try and be efficient. I've got about 24 of them. Starting with item number 3, this is a recommendation to award for contract for the replacement of underground water and fire distribution systems at Smith Houses to Triumph Construction Company, about $4.2 million. The VNC is pending, therefore the award is not yet final. Good bid and 1 Section 3 hire. Item number 4, this is the start of Tranche 4 in the Mayor's Roofing Program. We're doing 20 sites in Tranche 4. Item number 5, again, is the award for roofing replacement, roofing structure renovation at Marcy Houses, again to Roma Scaffolding. The lowest bidder here, A and B, did not submit the sealed list of subcontractors, which is a legal requirement. The second and third lowest bidders, ABCD Construction and J&N, failed to satisfy the prior requisite work experience requirement. As it is, Roma's bid is still slightly lower than an estimate, so a good bid, and they're proposing 9 Section 3 hires. Item number 6 is the recommendation to award a contract for the exterior restoration and balcony railing replacement at Harborview Terrace. This responds to the inspection where we found railing replacements, railings that were structurally unsound. We had to close down a couple of access to the site. This will address all of the needs. The award would be to Pro Metal Construction, Inc. They are woman-owned business, the lowest bidder. VNC is cleared, proposing 2 Section 3 hires. Item number 7 is the recommendation to award for roofing and railing replacement at Forest Houses to RSN Construction Company. RSN is a minority The lowest bidder, Lasardo, did not provide the letter of assent to the project labor agreement, and all of the bids were high. This is 37.4% higher than our estimate. Even the low bidder was 22% higher. They were all the others were grouped in this range of 37. We think this is reflects the market that we were in. They're proposing 2 Section 3 hires, and I want to note that this work is being funded not under the large of the site. SNN is minority owned, good history with us. The VNC's been cleared, no issue to preclude award. And they're proposing 10 Section 3 hires. Items number 10, 11, and 12 are all related to the award for their contracts to do work at various sites in our boroughs. This is the second time I'm coming to you. Remember, we rebid our local law 11 contracts because we did not like the bids we got. We repackaged them into boroughs and lowered the necessary experience, and we did get much better bids this time around. So we are recommending to award for Brooklyn and Staten Island a contract to Roma Scaffolding of over $62.6 million. There's no issue to preclude award under their VNC. They've been cleared. They're recommending 15 Section 3 hires under that contract.
That's the amount 56,853.
56.
Okay.
For each of A, Bronx and Queens, and secondly, Manhattan, items 11 and 12. We're recommending award to Zoria Housing LLC, a minority-owned contractor. Their VNC is pending, so this award is not final until that is cleared. For each of their contracts, they are recommending, proposing 10 Section 3 hires. Item number 13 is the recommendation to award 30 contracts for professional services for indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity for architectural and engineering services. Periodically, about every 5 years, we go out for new contracts. Last month, you voted to extend the existing contracts to bridge us to these new contracts. We're really pleased. We've got new bidders. We did well with minor and women-owned contractors. We established 2 thresholds, both large-size contracts and small-size contracts. Firms could bid on any of general architectural engineering or mechanical engineering and plumbing or landscape architecture. And we're very, very, very pleased with these. The VNCs are pending for all of these firms, and so these awards won't be finalized until after we receive that. I'm not going to read the amounts for all 30. They're in your package. Any questions on these?
Section 3, by task order.
Section 3 will be done by task order, yes. Item number 14 is the recommendation to reject the sole bid at Monroe for trash waste replacement at Monroe houses. I'm sorry, I've lost track. The sole bidder did not submit the contractor, did not meet the contractor experience, did not submit the contractor experience form. This is a bidder that's done business with us in the past. This was just a sloppy bid, but it's non-responsive. So we will rebid. We did get a good price. We expect a good price again. Item number 15 is the recommendation to award, to reject the bid for installation of heat pump installation service at Fort Independence. We are working with the Mayor's Office of Sustainability to test and pilot electric heating and cooling technologies. The one bid we got was over 200% higher than our estimate. We are going to survey mechanical engineering firms to find out why they did not bid. It may be that we were piloting and the scale may have been too small, just one top floor instead of the whole building. But we may rebid, or we may do it by our job contract. We're exploring those options. But we're going to continue trying to figure this technology out and test it. Item number 16 is a recommendation to reject bids for the laundry room upgrade at Grant Houses. The bids were well over our estimate. We could not justify it given the nature of the work. We have done a preliminary review with Gordian, our jock contractor, and we believe we'll get a good bid if we go through jock. So we will not rebid this. We'll use an existing contract. Item number 17 is the recommendation to reject the sole bid at Throgs Neck for the sports field upgrade. Again, 21, almost 22% higher than our estimate. We just can't justify that bid variance. We'll put it out to bid again. Item number 18, this is a recommendation to ratify an amendment of the Memorandum of Understanding with the New York Department of Investigation. This relates to our Sandy work. We have an MOU with DOI, and under that MOU, they hire an independent integrity monitor. They had to RFP again for that integrity monitor, and in order for there to be no gap in service between the response to the RFP and this board vote, we executed the MOU and agreed with their selection of the independent monitor. So we're asking for ratification of that action. Items 19 and 20 relate to the increase in contracts for Gemco, one of our job contractors, for work in various developments in Manhattan, Bronx, and Queens. The contract is still in place. We're doing more work under them than we had expected, especially with respect to the mayor's homeless initiative. So we're asking for an increase of $5 million for each of the 2 contracts they have with us. Any questions? Yes, Mr. Gonzalez.
On these mayor initiatives, are they at least flipping part of the bill, or Are we taking the hit ourselves?
We have an agreement with OMB that we are continuing to negotiate the payment on.
I see. One other statement. In the laundry rooms, I remember years back, we were having issues with when they got a new company coming in to provide a laundry room. And I had asked way back then, do we ask the provider to also, as part of their contract and their responsibility, to have security for these laundry rooms, as opposed to NYCHA having to provide the security for the laundry rooms?
No, we don't.
We don't.
No.
May I ask why?
It's not in my shop, although I was overseeing that shop for a bit when we were drafting the RFP. And I was never aware it was an issue, frankly. And it was never brought to my attention by staff working on the project that it was an issue.
It was interesting because it would save us money and they'd be more susceptible to coming and fixing them when something goes wrong.
We actually have a difficult time because we ask a lot more of these vendors than most property sites would.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a difficult time attracting
In
them.
the interest of saving time, I'll talk
Okay.
to you about that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Item number 21, the increase for Baruch Houses in Lauenburg, increase in the contract for the construction management for the Sandy Recovery Program. The construction manager is STV. You are aware that we've extended a lot of the term of a lot of the work. We started projects, for instance, maybe roofing, before we got everything going at any site. So for instance, and we also signed this contract in April of 2015 ahead of signing the FEMA grant. So the scope of the work that STV was overseeing expanded greatly. The work was originally estimated at 128 million. It is now 172 million after we signed the FEMA grant. And the work extended from 514 days to over 1,000 days. So STV has had obviously increased costs, and we're recommending an increase of almost $5 million to their contract. This should be the final increase you see as we're starting to really see the full scope of all our projects and wind down. Item number 22 is ratification of an amendment to an agreement for AE services to Cone Peterson Fox related to Red Hook East and West Sandy work. This relates to actually the work that you voted the contract last week. While the contract was out to bid, we realized we needed to do some clarification to make sure that we appropriately and explicitly spoke to the grounds work. We asked them to do additional design work related to that bid package. We are recommending an increase of $550,000 for the additional work we requested.
24. 125.
Item 20,
24.
I'm on 22, right? What do you, I'm not sure what you're trying to tell me. That's Ocean Day. Yeah, okay. That was 22, as I said.
Go ahead.
Okay. Item 23, ratification of a change order, again connected to Sandy work at Red Hook East and West for technical construction, the contractor out there. We had identified areas that needed additional ACM abatement, asbestos abatement, and we gave them the go-ahead to do the work. Coming to ratification, the change order amount is about $1.8 million. Item number 24 is the ratification of an amendment to the agreement for work at Ocean Bay Apartments Bayside with M. Zervati Associates Architects. We had originally designed and asked them to design a centralized boiler system. We changed it to individual boilers for each building. We also integrated solar, third-party solar. We had revised requirements from utility companies, and therefore, obviously, they did extra work for us. The increase here is about $125,000. And finally, items 25 and 26 are the ratification of the change orders for Kiwanis houses, again, in connection with Sandy work. This is for the contractor Adams European. The increase is about 3.4 million. The original scope called for the installation of 12 new generators. At the time that work was being done, we did not have a cost for National Grid's new service. We now do. And we are asking for, I'm sorry, this is for $819,000. We're asking for ratification of that change order. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Bob Morano, NYCHA's Chief Information Officer. I'll be presenting items 27, 28, and 29. Items 27 is requesting to enter into an agreement with JSM Consulting for managed services of our Maximo asset management system. Managed services support includes maintaining all the Maximo instances, system monitoring, tuning, troubleshooting, system documentation, applying fixes, and 24/7 support for the next 5 years. Item 28 is requesting to enter into an agreement with Universal Technologies for parts, maintenance, and extended warranties of our SAN. Our SAN is our storage area network. The storage area network is a high-speed network that allows multiple servers and devices to connect to a common data source. This 3-year agreement covers all software and maintenance of our network storage devices at the 90 Church Street Data Center and at our LIC backup site. Item 29 is requesting to enter into an agreement with Dimension Data for VoIP licenses. VoIP means Voice over Internet Protocol, which is a technology NYCHA uses for our internal phone systems. NYCHA uses VoIP phones at the central offices and all of our management offices. This is a 5-year agreement that covers all licensing of our VoIP system that includes over 7,000 phones.
Questions?
Any questions? Thank you.
Alrighty.
Good morning. My name is Joe Cortine. I'm VP of Operations. I'll be discussing items 30 through 66. Sorry, it's a lot of paper. Item 30 is requesting approval for the authorization to award 2 indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity IDIQ contracts for maintenance and paintings in apartments and interior and exterior public spaces. Mount Olympus is the lowest responsive bidder. The cost estimate is $5 million. Recommended section 3 hires, 3. And Speedo Corporation was the second lowest bidder. Newburgh Construction Incorporated, the third lowest bidder. Jeslin Construction Corp., the fourth lowest. Simcoe Enterprises, the fifth lowest. Abbott Construction Corp., and the sixth lowest bidder, General Construction Incorporated. They were deemed non-responsible for failing to submit the required bid bonds. Any questions? Item 31 was Raz Construction, it was a similar contract. The contract was Raz Interiors, sorry. And the cost estimate is $5 million. Section 3 hires recommended 2. Items 32, 33, and 34. Requesting authorization for approval. 3 change orders for maintenance painting of apartments. Contract term, March 30th, 2018 to March 29th, 2021. Contract is $789,000. I'm sorry, first cost estimate is $541,000. And that's for King Towers, Brampton houses, various contracts. And contract for Kingsborough Houses, that's item 33. Kingsborough Houses, Kingsborough Extension is $789,000. And the item 34 is for the Hamel Houses and Carlton Manor, $404,000. Items 35 and 36. 35 is for authorization to approve change order for removal installation of vinyl composition floor tiles in apartments. 36, similar contract. 35 is for King Towers. Cost estimate $602,000. And then the item 36 is Dykeman Houses, $82,000. Similarly, items 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, and 45 are all regarding change orders to maintenance and painting of apartments to various sites. 37, 38 is Red Hook Houses, and 38 is Manhattanville. The amount not to exceed about cost estimate is $753,000 at Red Hook East, and the cost estimate is $668,000 at Manhattanville. $39, $40, $41, $42, or again, painting contracts, painting apartments, and the cost estimate is $165,000 at Garvey Group A and Reverend Brown Houses, and it's award to Amazonas Painting Corporation. Let's see. And the Cooper Park Houses, it's $710,000 contract. At the Harlem River, Harlem 1, Harlem River 2, Audubon Houses, Bethune Gardens, Thurgood Marshall Plaza Houses is the $715,000. At the Johnson Houses,
What number is that?
sorry,
41?
that would be 41.
Paris, Manhattan. Okay. Thank you.
Yep, 41. So 42 would be Johnson Houses, and that's $1 million cost estimate. $43, $44, $45, and painting of apartments. 43, is for Wrangell Houses, $486,000. $44 is for Summer Houses, 303 Vernon Avenue and Bedford-Stuyvesant Rehab. That's for $1.5 million. And the item 45 is the Dykeman Houses. That's $1.8 million.
43, 44, and 45 are awarded to Demo Construction Corp., correct?
Yes, Demo Construction.
Please say the vendor's name.
Sure, thank you. $46, $47, and $48 are again for authorization to change order for removal and installation of final composition floor tile apartments. This was awarded to PRP Enterprises, Justice Sotomayor Houses, $16,000 the contract. 47 is for JP Honda Construction Incorporated, Marlboro Houses, $284,000. Item 48. NK Bali Construction Corp. With the Berry Houses and Toad Hill Houses, $24,000. Items 49, 50, 51, and 52 are for the authorization to approve 4 change orders for the maintenance of painting of apartments. And this is for the contractor is Beesla Painting Company Incorporated. Soundview Houses for $790,000. Item 50 is for Douglas 1, Douglas 2, Douglas Addition, and 830 Amsterdam Avenue houses. It's $2.1 million. Item 51 is for the Lincoln houses. This is $1.1 million. Item 52 is for Low Houses in Glenmore Plaza. $222,000. Contractor Beasley. I missed that, sorry. Beasley. Items 58 and 59. Therefore,
Three.
sorry, what is it's 53? Oh, sorry, jumped ahead. That's- 53 is 53 and 54 also for the painting contracts. It's for the Top Notch Painting Incorporated is the company, the contractor. Strauss Houses and 344 East 28th Street. We'll see. The cost estimate $558,000. Item 54 is for Stapleton Houses for $518,000. Also top notch. Item 55 is for Verinder Incorporated as the contractor, at the Parkside Houses and Gun Hill Houses. $1.2 million is the cost estimate. Item 56 is contract is awarded to Bloom Construction. And at the Bronx River Houses, Bronx River Addition, and Boynton Avenue Rehab, $823,000 cost estimate. Item 57. This contract was awarded to Amet Construction Corporation. Area is Lehman Village, and $624,000. Items 58 and 59 are for requests to approve a change order for janitorial cleaning and debris removal of areas like move out apartments and fire damaged apartments. And the contract was going to be awarded to Earth Link General Construction Incorporated at various Bronx developments for $220,000. Item 59 is for authorization, change order requirement contract for demolition and removal of bathtubs and wall surrounds, including associated rough plumbing and installation of new roll-in shower bases. The award is to FJP Mechanical Incorporated, the contractor, various Bronx developments, $72,000. Cost estimate. Item 60 is for authorization for approval to amend change order requirement contract for Art Services Corporation. Okay, this requirement contract provides for the purchase and delivery of GAL manufactured elevator parts in accordance with the authority standard specification, delivery, or ready installation by the authority elevator service and repair department personnel. While will furnish and deliver only during the period of requirement contract, the GAL manufactured elevator parts for maintenance and repairs to any authority development citywide and Long Island City warehouse. It's for various developments citywide and Long Island City warehouse. Cost estimate $646,000.
60 is also to amend the board resolution to correct the vendor's name as it appears on the executed contract. There are two parts to the resolution.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Item 61 is the authorization to approve change order for various types of paintbrushes, covers, and frames. This is award to Mercury Paint Corporation. Purchase delivery of various types of paint, brushes, covers, and frames. Not require the board's initial authorization for a 3-year term to increase and not to exceed amount in order to fund the continued provision of services during the remainder of the 3-year term, which commenced January 23rd, 2018, and continuing through January 22nd, 2021. It's various developments. It's $39,000.
Citywide.
Various developments. Item 62. This is authorization to amend agreement with New York City Disabled Incorporated for purchase of male and female sized winter and summer uniforms, authorized by Board Resolution 17-726-6 for a 3-year term to increase the not to exceed amount in order to fund the continued provisions of services during the remainder of the 3-year term, which commenced August 1st, 2017, and is continuing through July 31st, 2020. The winter uniform set consists of 1 winter shirt, 1 winter cap, 2 winter trousers each year, and 1 winter jacket every other year. The average cost for the complete set of the winter uniform is $142 per employee. The summer uniform set consists of 3 summer shirts, 2 t-shirts, 1 summer cap, 2 summer trousers for each year, and 1 summer jacket every other year. The average cost for a complete set of summer uniform is $86.93 per employee. For various developments citywide and Long Island City warehouse, cost estimate is $4 million. Items 63, 64, 65, and 66. Authorization is requested to approve a change order to 3 requirement contracts awarded to IESI New York Corporation for bulk garbage cording services, which did not require initial board authorization for an initial 2-year term with 1-year renewal option to increase the not to exceed amount in order to fund the continued provision of services during the remainder of the 1-year renewal. This is for bulk garbage carting. It's various Brooklyn East, for 63, it's various Brooklyn East developments for $57,000. Item 64 is for various Brooklyn West developments, $235,000. Item 65 is for various Queens developments, $77,000. And item 66 is various Manhattan North developments, $556,000.
Okay, just wanted to confirm that the cost estimate amount is the amount of the change orders. You kept saying cost estimate, but that was also the amount.
For the change order, yes.
Correct. Okay. Questions? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning. I'm Carrie Jew, Executive Vice President and Chief Administrative Officer. I'm going to be presenting board resolutions numbers 67 through 74 in several groups. So the first group is board resolutions 67 through 69. With these three resolutions, I'm seeking authorization to enter into agreements with three firms to provide for the purchase and delivery of horticultural equipment. This equipment will replace outdated pieces that cannot be repaired as select parts are no longer available for the existing older equipment. The equipment covered under these agreements will be used by ground staff for landscaping, site development, grading, snow removal, and grounds cleaning. With Board Resolution number 67, I am requesting authorization to enter into an agreement with Clark Equipment Company for an amount not to exceed $4,504,022.21. This agreement will provide for the purchase and delivery of 15 Bobcat skid steer loaders and 58 Bobcat toolcats. With Board Resolution number 68, I am requesting authorization to enter into an agreement with W.W. Granger, Inc. for an amount not to exceed $4,762,402. This agreement will provide for the purchase and delivery of 77 tenant sweepers. With Board Resolution number 69, I'm requesting authorization to enter into an agreement with Chief Equipment, Inc. for an amount not to exceed $2,589,437.20. This agreement will provide for the purchase and delivery of 25 John Deere Gators, 36 John Deere tractors, and 15 John Deere skid steers. The equipment provided by Clark and Granger was procured via a New York State Office of General Services contract, and the equipment provided by Chief Equipment was procured via a DCAS services contract. All three agreements total $11,855,861.41 and will commence on August 5th, 2019 and continue through November 4th, 2019 with no renewal options. Any questions?
Just one.
Yes.
So, having said that and asked for this, does that mean now that moving forward, our equipment is up to date? And when I say our equipment, I mean as a whole.
I think this will help matters. Whether this is going to make it so that all of our equipment is up to date, and it's certainly not. All of our equipment is not brand new. This is not replacing all of our equipment. This is replacing a good part of it that we have not been able to replace in some years, and adding some equipment in terms of changing equipment that we find is better suited for the job.
Okay, I mean, I understand that it won't be the entire authority because that would take a lot more money.
Right.
But I'm just hoping that the ones that we haven't dealt with or buying new, at least those got a couple of years left in their lifespan.
Yes.
Okay.
Moving on to Board Resolution number 70, I'm seeking authorization to increase the not to exceed amount to the agreement with AT&T Mobility in two amendments. The first will fund the required United States, New York, and Metropolitan Transportation Authority telecommunications surcharges from January 1st, 2019 through the expiration of the contract. And the second will fund the continued provision of services during the remainder of the 3-year term and the 1-year renewal option term, which commenced on April 1st, 2018 and is continuing through March 31st, 2022. The original agreement, which commenced April 1st, 2018, was for an initial 3-year term with a 1-year renewal option and a not-to-exceed amount of $666,788, and it was procured through the terms and conditions of a United States Office of General Services Administration contract. Initial board authorization was not required. By way of background, AT&T Mobility provides the authority with Geotab GPS vehicle tracking device hardware and software with maintenance, as well as monthly recurring telecommunication services through Geotab GPS devices to 914 authority vehicles. These GPS devices allow the authority to monitor vehicle usage, identify staff usage for each vehicle, track vehicles in real time, and deliver numerous reports on vehicle use for the authority's entire fleet. The ratification in the First Amendment is needed to fund the required federal, state, and Metropolitan Transportation Authority telecommunications surcharges from January 1st, 2019 through the remainder of the 3-year term and 1-year renewal option. The vendor did not include these surcharges in their bid proposal. As these are federal and state telecommunication mandated surcharges, NYCHA is required to pay them. The Second Amendment is needed to fund the continued provision of services during the remainder of the 3-year term and 1-year renewal option. The increase in the not-to-exceed amount for both the ratification and the amendment is $211,024.32. Any questions? Okay. Moving to board resolutions numbers 71 through 73. With these 3 resolutions, I'm seeking authorization to increase the not-to-exceed amounts for 3 staff augmentation contracts. With board resolution number 71, I'm requesting authorization to amend the agreement with IT Trailblazers LLC to increase the not-to-exceed amount by $18 million. With board resolution number 72, I am requesting authorization to amend the agreement with JSM Consulting New York to increase the not-to-exceed amount by $10,800,000. With board resolution number 73, I am requesting authorization to amend the agreement with Trigen Technologies, Inc. to increase the not-to-exceed amount by $18 million. The agreement with IT Trailblazers was originally authorized by the board in resolution number 18-09/27-44 for a not-to-exceed amount of $18 million and a term of 5 years with no renewal option. The contract spend from the beginning of the contract in November 2018 through June 30th, 2019 is $3,637,684. The authorization is requested to amend the agreement with IT Trailblazers to increase the not-to-exceed amount by $18 million to fund the continued provision of services through the end of the contract, November 17, 2023. The agreement with JSM was originally authorized by the board in resolution number 18-09/27-45 for a not-to-exceed amount of $10,800,000 and a term of 5 years with no renewal option. The contract spend from the beginning of the contract in November 2018 through June 30th, 2019 is $1,550,559. Authorization is requested to amend the agreement with JSM to increase the not-to-exceed amount by $10,800,000 to fund the continued provision of services through the end of the contract, November 17, 2023. The agreement with Trigen was originally authorized by the board in resolution number 18-09/27-46 for a not-to-exceed amount of $18 million and a term of 5 years with no renewal option. The contract spend from the beginning of the contract in November 2018 through June 30th, 2019 is $8,366,463. Authorization to amend the agreement with Trigen to increase the not-to-exceed amount by $18 million to fund the continued provision of services through the end of the contract, November 17, 2023. By way of background, in November 2018, NYCHA engaged 7 vendors for staff augmentation services, including IT Trailblazers, JSM, and Trigen. Under these agreements, the vendors provide NYCHA with temporary general, professional, and IT services on an as-needed basis when a specific skill set is required and existing authority staff cannot perform the work. Since the commencement of the contracts, unforeseen requests for business projects across the authority related to critical business initiatives have increased the need for additional temporary specialized resources and a more specialized workforce. The accelerated schedules of these numerous initiatives has significantly increased the need for skilled technical, analytical, and clerical temporary staff as provided by IT Trailblazers, JSM, and Trigen, resulting in an increase in funding requirements. Any questions? Okay, and the last resolution that I'm presenting is board resolution number 74. With this resolution, I'm seeking authorization to amend the agreement with CertRebel by increasing the not-to-exceed amount by $52,800 for a total not-to-exceed amount of $150,000. The original agreement, which did not require board approval, is for a 1-year term that commenced January 31st, 2019, with no renewal options and with an original not-to-exceed amount of $92,700. CERT Rebel provides supplemental hands-on and on-site RRP dust control containment training sessions that are in compliance with applicable EPA and HUD guidelines for approximately 3,200 staff at various citywide NYCHA field locations. Each session is 3 hours with 2 sessions per day, and there have been on average 4 sessions scheduled per week. As of July 24th, 2019, 1,152 NYCHA staff have completed CERT Rebel's on-site trainings, and CERT Rebel has invoiced NYCHA for approximately $75,000 for their services since January 31st, 2019. There are approximately 2,050 additional staff who need to be trained. By way of background, the January 31st, 2019 agreement by and between HUD, the Southern District of New York, NYCHA, and the city, NYCHA is required to select a vendor to supplement the EPA's RRP training with practical training on dust control measures to simulate a range of working conditions by March 31st, 2019, and to train substantially all RRP certified staff by December 31st, 2019, end quote. This supplemental training provided by CERT Rebel enhances the standard EPA RRP course through on-site simulation of the actual process of dust control, containment, and cleaning, providing staff with practical training experience. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Good morning. My name is Aiden Manassar. I'm with the Real Estate Development Department, and I'm presenting Board Resolution Item 75. And this is authorization to submit Section 18 applications and a RAD financing plan to HUD for 21 developments located in Brooklyn and Manhattan. The applications will facilitate the conversion of the developments from Section 9 public housing to Section 8 project-based voucher contracts, and allow for the formation of public-private partnerships with 2 development teams that will perform substantial tenant-in-place capital rehabilitation of the units, common areas, building envelope and systems and grounds, as well as provide streamlined property management services and enhance the delivery of social services to these developments, all as part of the Permanent Affordability Commitment Together, or PACT initiative. Any questions? Thank you.
Good morning. Matthew Charney, Director for Real Estate Development. I'll be presenting resolutions 76 through 78. Resolution 76 authorizes NYCHA to submit an application to HUD pursuant to Section 18 of the Housing Act of 1937, and upon approval, to enter into a ground lease for a parcel of approximately 29,400 square feet at Sumner Houses for the development of approximately 189 affordable housing units for seniors with ground floor community facility uses and on-site supportive services. The lease will be 99 years with a joint venture between nonprofit Self-Help Community Services, nonprofit Riseboro Community Partnership, and the Urban Builders Collaborative. All units will be affordable to senior households earning at or below 50% of area median income, and a preference will be given to 33 of the units for Housing Authority residents. Any questions on that? Item number 77 is a similar resolution. Authorization is requested to submit a Section 18 application to HUD to enter into a 99-year ground lease for approximately 16,334-foot parcel of land at Twin Parks West, Twin Parks Terrace in the Bronx, for the construction of approximately 182 units of affordable housing for families. Ground floor commercial uses, community facility uses, and on-site supportive services. And upon approval of the Section 18, enter into a 99-year ground lease with a joint venture between nonprofit Settlement Housing Fund and Joy Construction. All units will be available to a range of households earning up to 70% of area median income, and Authority residents will be given a preference for 32 of those units. Any questions on that? Item number 78, authorization is requested to submit an application to HUD pursuant to Section 18 of the Housing Act of 1937 to dispose of a 6,000 square foot parking lot and approximately 90,634 additional square feet of zoning floor area or development rights. And upon HUD approval, convey this property to YYY Brooklyn LLC, which is the owner of the neighboring property. The authority does not currently use or maintain the parking lot. It's been under a license agreement with the neighboring property, the proposed purchaser. The sale of these development rights will also require the termination of an agreement that was entered into by NYCHA in the neighboring property in 1940 at the time of land assembly for the development of Fort Greene houses, now known as Ingersoll houses and Whitman houses. The authority expects to receive approximately $24.8 million for this sale. All proceeds will be used at Ingersoll houses, and we've committed to working with the resident leadership there on developing a scope of work. The funds will be held in escrow until a scope of work is submitted to HUD and approved by HUD for the use of those proceeds. Any questions on that?
Yes.
Yes.
So if I understood it correctly, we don't know what we're actually doing there yet until we sit with the residents and ask them what they want.
That's right.
So how do we know, or how do we get to the number that you're asking for?
The number is based on an appraised value. So the appraisal we received, the appraisal was for $27.7 million. And what we've negotiated, the price is 24.8. The appraisal didn't take into account the relocation of a sewer that they have to do, which we estimate to be upgrades to our current waste facility. So we think all that together collectively adds up to a fair price. It's not going to, approximately 20.
We really never used it ourselves.
We haven't
Part
been-
of a deal with
We haven't been for some
the
time.
adjacent.
Right. The adjacent property right now is a warehouse and they've been using it exclusively. So if you saw it today, you would.
It just becomes part of an easement for something.
And the 75% the other remaining apartments.
This will
Gonna
be
be market rate?
market rate. Right.
We need to mention another benefit about working with Reese.
Sure. Yeah, the development team has agreed to work with Reese on a hiring plan too. So there'll be a hiring plan and job training as part of this.
Excuse me.
Yes.
It's just brought up a good point, something that another question that I had with the inclusionary housing. Inclusionary housing is a little tricky thing that sometimes confuses me and some of the people that listen to it. Because inclusionary housing could mean it's part of the deal, but it's not gonna be at the site. it's gonna be
Has to be the site.
40 blocks away.
No, this has to be at the site.
So is this mandatory on-site inclusionary?
Yes.
With the additional, so they already have plans to build a residential building here. Our small parking lot and additional rights will just allow them to build a slightly larger building and more affordable housing units. They have to be on site. So in whole, it'll be about 400 apartments. 100 of them will be affordable. It'll all be in the same building. No corridors or anything like that. You won't notice the difference.
That works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Question. The time span for all of this, and what would be time span possibly of workshops, anything explaining to the tenants what the gains and losses will be along with this?
Yeah, so we've been talking to the resident association leadership. They're pretty supportive. Their main questions have been around the use of funds, making sure that those go back to Ingersoll exclusively. And we've made public commitments that they will. We've made public commitments to the residents and their local elected officials that will allow the resident leadership to sign off on the scope of work that we develop in conjunction with NYCHA Capital. So we've met with resident leadership there a number of times over this year. We're submitting a Section 18 application to HUD, hopefully, with your approval. That process usually takes 2 to 3 months for HUD to review. When we're done with that, then we would have, we would hope to make that sale sometime before the end of the year to get the money at least into NYCHA's hands that we could start spending. We're going to meet with residents. We have meetings tentatively set up for September. We met with them last week, and we're going to meet with them again in September to start planning the scope of work for the capital repairs.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to be invited to that meeting.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. 79 was already presented, so last but not least.
Good morning, Madam Vice Chair and members of the board. I am Jason Goldberg, Associate General Counsel for Corporate Affairs, and I am presenting the final item, number 80. Authorization is requested to amend the New York City Housing Authority's legal retainer agreement with the law firm of Wilmer, Cutler, Pickering, Hale, and Dorr LLP for legal services in connection with governmental investigations and resulting or related claims, litigation, and causes of action. This amendment is needed to increase the retainer's not to exceed amount by approximately $4,827,000 in order to fund the continued provision of legal services during the remainder of the retainer's initial 3-year term and 2 1-year renewal options, which commenced in June 2016 and is continuing through June 2021. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Just for one clarification on the record, number 25 was an authorization to ratify a change order, and 26 to approve a change order. Permission to join this.
So, Mr.
Vice Chair, being that all matters before the board today have been addressed, may I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Thank you.
You know how they normally at the end we say, we're gonna take this